Come here now, girl.
Hello and welcome to WhatMap, your one-stop shop for everything workshop. I'm BonBonB and you're very, very welcome. Well, today we've got two maps that have a bunch of things in common. They are 100% vanilla, they are both very classily done, and they're both going to score very similar ratings from me at the end of each review. Spoiler alert. But how will they stand with you in the viewer's choice? Remember, you have to vote. Link is in the top corner and also in the descriptions. Now, the first map is a bit of a star. Not only is it the top performing map at the moment, it was the top performing anything at the moment. Yeah, anything on the workshop. That never happens with a map. But is it any good? Well, that's our job today to find out. But before we do any finding out, I've got a little task for you. It's a daily reminder. That's right, clicking that like button really does support the channel, gets me seen by more people, helps me grow a little bit more every single day. Thank you for your support. Today's first map is Palm Beach by IhmeHihhuli trademark. Now you're thinking, Palm Beach, Florida, real life location. As best I can tell, it's not. I have had a look, doesn't look like it. It looks like inspired by, probably, that kind of area. There's your start square. Inspired by the Florida coastline and possibly the Keys as well. Terrain height's very flat, as you'd expect for Florida. And then we have resources, plenty of them, splashed around the map, which is pretty neat as well. And then if you've got Sunset Harbour and you want to do some fishing, it's a bit plain, but it's not always about the fishing. And besides, perhaps you want to catch the seafood. Okay, off to the workshop. What do we need? Well, it's 100% vanilla, but there is a Seychelles map theme if you wish to use the Seychelles map theme, of course. And we'll be using the Relight to Natural LUT. Again, don't need either of those. The map will load perfectly fine without them. And Daylight Classic and Clouds and Fog Toggler are options if you want those as well. Nicely presented workshop page as always from Immy. If you have a read through there, they go to some lengths to explain that actually they're cutting back on the amount of time because they're a busy person. Listen, I get you. I truly get you. Map making is a big ask, and this one, I mean, looked at the number of hours they spent making this one, and it was a relatively, and I'm doing air quotes here, relatively quick build. I mean, it was still dozens of hours over a set out time, but it was still a relatively quick build. Immy in the past has given us some of the most beautiful detailed maps you could ever wish to see, and they're coming back doing something a lot more simple and a lot more basic. But of course, when you're a top map creator, simple and basic is still better than many aspiring map makers, and I think that's what we've got today. We've got a map which has playability splashed through it. It's definitely one for that Florida Keys style build, and you won't really be disappointed if that's what you're looking for. 100% vanilla as well, so and no DLC. I mean, it's ticking a lot of boxes for a lot of people. Maybe that's why it's performed quite as well. Plus, of course, when you're Immy and you've got this sort of quality going on. But you've got to remember that this is not a real life location. So everything here has come from imagination or has been inspired by a real life location, not Palm Beach. Look, okay, maybe it is, but I have had a look and it doesn't make any sense to me that this is Palm Beach. So it's not Palm Beach, it's inspired by that kind of scene. It shares a name, and there are lots of places that share names. There are, and lots of people that share names as well. Isn't that right, Bob? Anyway, so we fly across. Now, this middle island here between the mainland and the outer ocean front, I'm sure these have got technical names. I don't have them to hand. Was going to research them and completely forgot. This is your start square area. I have a minor grumble, and it is only a minor one. It's still very playable, and my minor grumble shouldn't put you off. But I would like to have seen it centered slightly better. Again, that would mean completely redesigning the map. So don't do that, Immy. Don't do that, Emmy. What you've got there is more... Wait, when you see the scores at the end, you'll understand. And remember, with my ratings at the end, 4 stars is excellent. Yeah, 4 stars is the very good box, okay? 3 stars is the pass mark, and a high 3 is pretty good, right? But you're looking for 4 stars. If you get 4 stars, it doesn't matter whether it's low, high, middle, doesn't matter. If you got 4 stars, you're on a winner. Rail, one of the reasons why I was pretty sure this wasn't actually Palm Beach, was the rail. I had a look at the ocean front along Palm Beach. I couldn't see any rail down there. I wouldn't expect there to be any rail down there. But again, it's irrelevant. It's a fantastical, realistic map. Now, they do say, again, in the description, they've gone for that balance between realism and video gamery. Okay? So I'm going to point out something in a minute, which is, in terms of realism, you can probably shrug your shoulders at it. But in terms of City Skylines, I don't think it really matters at all. And that's here. Look, the tunnel goes in there, and they're believable, isn't it? I think. But it has to drop a little bit pretty quickly and quite deeply to get underneath the water there, and then to emerge right there. So if you're a true realist, this might not be the map for you. For everybody else, and that is basically most of us, I think that's fine. I think that's fine. This is City Skylines, okay? It's not a real life simulator. Although I know that there are people out there that use it for real life simulations. Those intersection testing that was done on City Skylines. I mean, what? You know? Or they changed the whole bypass or something because of Cities Skylines. Right, okay. Why not? Why not? It has abilities. Anyway, it looks pretty fine, okay? It looks pretty fine. A little bit reminiscent for me of the maps from StrategicGamer in the map pack, but that's not a bad thing. They're all good maps. If anything, don't say that one. I think this is more interesting and better than the maps in the map pack. Shh. Okay. The bridge is high enough. Nice looking big old bridge. Everybody loves a big old bridge. There's one for the BonBonBingo players. A link is in the description if you want to play along. But yes, nice big old bridge, nice and clean and crisp. And if we have a little look here, we have shipping routes that don't actually pass through it. They could, but they don't. We do actually have shipping routes in all 3 slots of water. Like here, this one does pass under the bridge. But you can sit here all day and there will not actually be any ships going under there, because it only connects at one end, on the far left here. Then you get a tree of shipping connections that go up, and then we have a tree coming in from the side there. So you'll only actually get ships once you place down the harbour, which I know is going to please a lot of people as well. Water flow in the start square doesn't really matter. It's not the fastest flowing water, but we have water on 1, 2, 3 edges. And so no matter what you do, you can pump and you can draw if you wish to do that kind of play, and you will not be poisoning your subjects, just as long as you choose different edges. Okay, speaking of edges, these edges I absolutely love. Not seen anything quite like this before. Yes, we've seen these used before as vanilla assets. These are bridge pillars, but they've been used in a really dramatic and very, very classy way. Immy, I'm liking this. I am really, really liking this. I mean, there'll be a few people that go, no, don't work for me. That's fine. Listen, we're all entitled to an opinion. I like it, and you might not. But let me know in the comments. Do you like it? I mean, come on. This is what the comments are there for. Okay, and it'll also help Immy. If everybody says, actually, I liked everything apart from the harbour, he won't do the harbour like that again. Now, this won't be to everybody's taste. I think it works on this map, but the way that we have the sand on one side and it's ore resources on the other side, and you get sort of like 3 different tones of colour going on there. And again, there are going to be some people that won't like it. I don't mind it at all on this particular map. Other maps, I would hate it. You know, there's all sorts of different maps and different ways. This area here looks prime for industry. You're going to need to get your feet wet digging out the ore there. This is that main intersection. I thought it was worth another look. It's just so slickly done. Loving the main highway running through like an S-bend through it. And then we've got loops and bends and twist backs. And It's very nicely done indeed. Remember, this is the sort of thing that I would have thought was from a real life location, because it's so beautifully designed, that intersection, and yet it's not. It's all from imagination. There's one thing I don't like on the map at all. It's this area here. This for me doesn't work. I know what it's trying to achieve here. I really do, but personally, it don't quite work. And you can all disagree with me, and again, that's fine, because you're right and I'm wrong. I'll let you know now. You're right and I'm wrong. Whatever you think, you're right and I'm wrong. Okay? It's a talking point. Okay? Not quite sure why I did that. Oh yes, the start square. Yes, just wanted to show you the amount of buildable space in the start square. The intersection fills up a big chunk of the middle of it, but there is plenty of room to build there. But you're gonna have to be a little bit. It's slightly challenging, just slightly, but there's plenty of space to get building into. I'd like to see that intersection just slightly off center there rather than slap bang in the middle. Anyway, what do you think of today's first map? Is it a 1-star map? Is it a 5-star map? Is it somewhere in between? Your vote really does count. We use it at the end of the month for the Viewers' Choice Top 10. Will this be one of the top 10 maps of the month? I would think so, but only you can decide. Hit the I button now, or the link in the description takes you to the voting page where you can vote for free with a Facebook, Gmail, Apple, or a Patreon account. And remember, there are 2 votes there. Make sure you're voting on the correct map, please. Okay, what do I think of today's first map? Well, it's obviously very nice indeed. 100% vanilla, which is always going to be very tough to get a super high score. And again, where IhmeHihhuli is saying that they're sort of like, they're cutting back a bit. And so, and it shows a little bit. It's still exceptional. It's still 4 stars. But I'm going to go slightly below middle 4 for aesthetics. Detailing. I'm going to say exactly the same. The areas which have been detailed really beautifully have been done beautifully, and the rest of it has been done really very well. And again, it's kind of a middly 4. I'm going to go for just below. I'm going to match the aesthetic score, just slightly below middle 4. Gameplay, I am going to go slap bang middle 4 on this one. Again, I'd just like to see that start square slightly more centered for the intersection, but do you know what? It doesn't matter. It's still very playable. I mean, anything above 4 stars is a good score. Just remember that. Just remember that. That's what you're looking for. Palm Beach by IhmeHihhuli trademark gets the BonBonB seal of approval. What a way to start the day. And another map still to come. Could it possibly be as good or even better than this one? Not long to find out right after this intermission. So back with our second map today. This one is, with a caveat, 100% vanilla. It's a real life location and the hometown of that map's creator, so they've got a pretty good feel for how it should feel. And I tell you what, I've had a look at Google Earth and this does feel about right, and not bad for a caveat 100% vanilla map. Today's second map is Montreal Vanilla by StrategicGamer. StrategicGamer, we reviewed back in episode 1463. They got 11 stars. That was the German walled city of Nordlingen, if you remember that one. There's your start square. Interesting and busy, and I like it. And plenty enough space to get building as well. Good credit to be given there. Terrain heights, it's a fairly flat map apart from that mountain. You can call it a mountain. Mount Royal it's called in real life. The resources are a little bit light, centered mostly on the island there. We'll have a look at that bit later on. But yes, it's all going to be around that area if you want resources. And if you've got Sunset Harbour and you want fishing, it's mostly anchovies and shellfish. Okay, off to the workshop. What do we need? Well, it's 100% vanilla. Although mass transit is needed, you will need mass transit for this one. And the content creator pack for bridges and piers also required. We'll talk about that, shall we? We'll be using the Stray Cats Territory Homecoming theme. You don't strictly need that. The map will load fine without it. There isn't a Ferris wheel on the map, but you can add one yourself if you so desire. So yes, we're using a Tree Anarchy today. You need Tree Anarchy for this one. Even though it's 100% vanilla, well, it does work without Tree Anarchy. It does, but half the trees will be missing, so that's okay. Prop Anarchy is also there as well. Move it's recommended and all of the usual bits and bobs, but the map will load 100% vanilla. You'll just have about 40% of the trees will be missing from my test earlier on. Anyway, we start off with a very slick, I mean, the intersection work today is very slick, obviously based on the real life location, and I think this has been done to a very high standard. Even the pillar placement, lovely standards going on there, liking all of that. And speaking of pillars, we're going to see some pillars under the bridge here, which you won't recognize. I'm guessing that these are from the Bridges and Piers content creator pack, and I would say that today's map is a good example of the sort of quality that you get from the DLC there. The rail in the middle is also from the content creator pack, from what I can tell, also elevated as it is. Looks possibly a little bit low, the bridge, for vanilla shipping, but we'll talk about that in the second half of the show, where I'll take it down. We'll have a little closer inspection of that. The standards of the networking are very strong. I have zero complaints with the networking. Zero. Well, maybe I have one complaint. I'll show you that in the second half of the show as well. Just nothing that's gonna like cause a sweat or inconvenience anyone at any location. Again, pillar placement there, very slickly done. And we'll see some vanilla use of pillars elsewhere on the map. The usual inspiration from all those top vanilla creators who know how to use pillars to produce fantastical things. And fantastical thing is what we got with the start square. Really liking this one. All of the new vanilla plants being used to good effect here. Just like beautify. Yeah, going with that. The start square area here. And already we've got some factory managers have moved in over here. Yes, everybody's favourite factory. Bum, 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 bum. Have you grabbed your new t-shirt yet? Have you? Anyway, the rail is, again, as you'd expect, strong. There's no catenary chaos that I found. There's no horrible glitchy bits or anything like that. And given that it's based on a real life location and has been done to a high standard, we've got some very slick, nice looking rail lines as well. So again, networking on the map is strong. Not everything has an outside connection, but that's going to help cut down on the dummy traffic, which is why we probably have no traffic running across here. This might be a little bit low, actually. Well, Montreal, do we have catenaries there? Maybe the catenaries need to be switched off using a mod, obviously. But yeah, we got a little bit of clipping with the wires going through there and there. Nothing that's going to affect gameplay, but is just a slight detailing issue. Of course, there are certain things like the bridge. If it's too low, if we raise it any higher, is it true to real life? Yeah, we get questions like that pop up. Anyway, liking the shape. Great choice of city. Obviously, if it's your hometown, it becomes a no-brainer if it's your hometown. And this area here, this isn't built on in real life. Think of this like Central Park in New York, but Montreal's version. A low, rocky mountain thing that's like green. And very pleasing. People go out there, get some fresh air, and I wouldn't blame you at all. This is where all your resources are. A little bit of oil offshore on the right there. And so, yeah, I wouldn't play this one as a resource game because that one doesn't look like it should be heavy industries. Or maybe it should. You tell me. You're the guys building on here. Now, here's the that bridge. Now, if I show you the shipping routes, we do have shipping routes that run through the bridge. Now, they've avoided the pillars. We do a little loop around there. We've avoided the pillars, so we'll have no pillar clipping, but it's slightly too low for vanilla shipping, so when you get the cruiser coming through here especially, that will crunch through. And we loop around. I'd rather have had 2 dead ends, because we're going to have a lot of dummy shipping looping around for no purpose whatsoever. So I would have had 2 dead ends there, or even just 1 dead end. Anyways, water flow in the start square, it's a little bit light, but there's lots of nooks and crannies, so you could draw from the river and pump out here, or pump in here, draw from here and pump out in the river itself. So you should be able to avoid polluting your subject. So I would like to have seen, given it's a river map, I'd like to have seen a little bit more motion actually in the river. Now, we do have docks, and we also have canals, and we have locks as well. This isn't a working lock. This is a vanilla detailing lock, and I would say this is very strong. Very pleased with that. Very, very pleased with that. All of the all of the work today is of a very strong standard. Now, if you are looking to recreate Montreal, here is where you would have your Ferris wheel on the section directly in front of us, like the island bit there. That's where that lives, and this is part of your docklands, which I guess has been redeveloped to become a tourism area, and looks good to me. Looks very good. Also, looking down in Google Earth, there is an essential lighthouse down here. Ah, isn't she lovely? Yeah. It's a clock tower that I think has got a lighthousey thing on the top. I think. It's, without seeing it, I'm not doing any more research than I have to. Now here we've got some work again stolen from Bringer of Fire's incredible mind, and that's the sunken highway. But look at these tunnel entrances. The tunnel entrances. Yeah, Bringer has discovered that you can actually use the canals creatively in an upwards direction. I mean, the guy is an absolute, crazy mind. Crazy mind. You've got to have a crazy mind to discover that that will work as an upwards thing. What a legendary crazy mind. I'm so glad we have him on our team, I'll tell you. And then we've got some lovely water area. It's a lovely wetland area as well. And the detailing along here is for a vanilla map. These are very strong standards indeed, and I'm loving it. Absolutely loving it. Water dead ends there. I'm imagining we've got pipes that run up to here. That makes some kind of sense to me. And if we pull the camera back a little bit and have a look, that seems to make sense. So yeah, I'm going to roll with that one. Been here. Over here, we've got, this is my one network grumbly problem. Now, you won't see any traffic down here because this isn't actually connected to the outside. I'll show you that in a moment. But this is again, nicely detailed. And if you're going to be building a city down in this direction, you'll want that as a working intersection. We just show you down there. We don't quite connect to the edge of the map over here, but that's okay. That's okay. It cuts down dummy traffic. But there is a slight problem with the intersection. Again, I'm calling it a slight problem because it's way out away from where you'd be starting your city. But somewhere, I can't even remember where it is. Where is it? Hang on. I'm going nuts. I'm definitely, oh, there it is. There it is. Yeah, a bit of one-way traffic going the wrong way on the highway ramp there. I can't fix it because I'm out the start square and I haven't unlocked everything using the common ground mod at the moment. But obviously just a right click there. 2 right clicks with the upgrade tool fixes that. So again, it's not a big sweat, but it is a fault, and faults are what I'm here to pick up on, just for entertainment purposes, not to criticise. Anyway, we do have outside connections on a lot of these outside roads. There are 1 or 2 that do not. That's not a big problem. It's just, again, it cuts down dummy traffic, and where they are disconnected, it's right off on the edge, so it's barely going to affect anybody's vision at all. We have rail here that does one of these little diamondy things and runs up the side of the map, which is just, again, just to keep a little bit of traffic away from the middle of the map, then cuts in, and again, this is all fine. It even goes across a little rail tunnel thing there. I'm guessing that's based on real. Oh, yeah, it's got to be based on real life. I'm not checking every nook and cranny in Google Earth. Just check 1 or 2 bits to make sure that it makes some kind of sense. And I promise you that it really does. Strategic Gamer knows their home city, which is a good thing. Really good thing. I could do my hometown, but it's not really. It's not as fun as this. So we'll stick with this one, shall we, for now? Right, and what do you think of today's map? Today's second map, that is. Is it a 1-star map? Is it a 5-star map? Is it somewhere in between? Your vote really does count. We use it at the end of the month for the Viewers' Choice Top 10. Will this be one of the top 10 maps of the month? Only you can decide. Hit the I button now in the top right corner of your screen, or the link in the description takes you to the voting page where you can vote for free with a Facebook, Gmail, Apple or a Patreon account, and make sure that you are voting on today's correct map. There are 2 maps. Be sure you're voting on the right one. Okay, what do I think of today's second map? Well, I think we've done very well indeed. Aesthetically, very nice, interesting, technical. It's done to a very good 4-star standard. I think there's more that can have been done, unnecessary as it would be to do more, but I think there's more that could be done. I think we can go for a lowish 4 stars, but it's still easily 4 stars. Detailing, again, this is a very strong 4-star map. 1 or 2 minor minor talking issues like the shipping clipping, that sort of thing. But again, I think we'll go for 4 stars lowish end. Not far off being exceptional. Exceptional, still very, very good. And gameplay potential, let's go middle 4. I'd like to see a little bit more movement of water in the start square, although it's not strictly an issue. And of course, I feel that the Bridges DLC is unnecessary really, could easily have used vanilla. But hey ho, it's still worth the seal of approval, so we're going to give that one. But yeah, the Bridges DLC, yeah, I mean, it's going to restrict your subscriber count when vanilla would have done. Yeah, you could have done that as well. That's my opinion. But listen, if you're making the map for yourself, that becomes a different matter altogether. So anyway, congratulations, Madge, for your Platinum Jubilee. You do know that she owns all the swans in the United Kingdom? Well, the unmarked meat ones anyway. Congratulations, Madge. And congratulations to you if you used the word of the day. Squeeze Arsenal populations just for fun. And I will be back on Wednesday with another What's Map with 2 great new maps to check out. Thanks for watching and I'll see you then.